British Steel announced the closure of multiple plants. This video, we're going to walk around the town centre to speak to its locals to see what their reactions have been. This is British Steel. It's an industrial town where the steelworks mean so much to the people. Hit the subscribe button, give it a big thumbs up. This is Kev Blackburn, Uncensored Streets. Let's go and speak to the locals. Hello sir, sorry to interrupt. We're just talking to some locals about the news of British Steel and the closures, just get some reactions and thoughts. Do you have a couple of moments? Yeah. So British Steel have announced the closure of blast furnaces, rod mill, steel making. What's been your thoughts on this news?
Well, it's going to kill Scunthorpe. I worked in the steelworks early 70s, late 70s to early 80s, when they shut Norby Park.
Right.
And it was devastating that when Norby Park shut. So if that pod shuts, this town will die. There'll be nothing.
What do you think is the cause of this announcement?
Probably money. They haven't invested in, well, I don't think they've invested in Apfod for years. It's just gone to lack and ruin, isn't it? Now they've decided to, as I say, if they shut it, this town will die.
Yeah. No, and I guess the final question is, what would you say to the government about the need for?
I can't say that on tape, mate.
You can't say it on tape. Understood. I mean, steel is it's such a.
It's a steel town. It's known as a steel town.
Yeah.
As I say, when I worked on it, it was the biggest employer in the area.
Yeah.
And as I say, they shut Norby Park, or Lysites as it was called, at the time when they were the only ones making the special steel.
Yeah.
That was British Steel, that wasn't anything to do with who's got it now, but it killed parts of Scunthorpe then, in the early 80s. If that shuts, this town will be dead.
Thank you very much for
the amount of people who will lose their jobs.
It's devastating. It's devastating. But yeah, thank you very much for a couple of minutes of your time. Thank you. Cheers. So the first gentleman that we've just spoken to, the fact that he was a steel worker that's amazing. The fact that we're able to speak to somebody that has first-hand experience of a closure all those years ago and how devastating it was. And he wasn't willing to say what he would say to the government, but it's devastating. Sorry, excuse me. We're doing a video on the locals' reaction to British Steel closure. Do you have a couple of moments just to ask you a couple of questions? Or?
No, thank you.
No problem. No problem at all.
But all I can say is I don't agree with it.
You don't agree. Thank you.
And they've got to renationalise it. I'm telling you that now. That's it.
Nationalise.
This town's finished.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to say anything else.
Thank you very much. British Steel have announced the closure of the blast furnaces, rod mill. What's been your reaction to this?
Well, it's not been very positive because my friend's family's main way of income is from British Steel. Now that's shutting, they're going to be in a bit of a financial trouble because they've got no way of income now, so they're going to have to find other jobs. And because my friend's only 16 as well, he said he's going to have to start having a job to help pick up some more money for the house as well. And because he's still in college like me, he needs to find a way to get income out of college hours while balancing college at the same time.
Yeah, and what do you think is the root cause to this?
Well, it got taken over by the Chinese a bit ago, and apparently the steel wasn't up to quality from what it was when it was under government rule. But now, apparently, because the steel's not up to quality and it's just been getting worse, that's probably the main cause of it.
And what do you think the impact will be to Scunthorpe if they're reporting multiple thousands of people going to be losing their careers?
There'll be a big wave of people moving away from Scunthorpe, I think, to try and find a job in that kind of sector because the British Steel is one of the main job sectors of this area, so there won't be that many people staying because of that job sector, and they won't be able to afford to live here.
And finally, what would you say to the government? The steel industry is essential from a foundational for infrastructure, for defence, etc. What would you say if you had the opportunity to speak to the Prime Minister?
They should take over the steelworks again and obviously open up the different sectors, like slowly, not all at once, so the people can get the jobs back, and so that the steel manufacturing can be up to state of what it needs to be as well.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Cheers. So British Steel have announced the closure of multiple plants, putting at risk thousands of people's careers. What's been your reaction to this?
I think there should be more help from the government. I mean, if it goes downhill, what's going to happen here? I've spoke to you about this place before, haven't I?
Yes.
It'll only get worse. You know that, I know that.
And what do you think has been the root cause to this?
Greed. No, I don't know. I don't really know. What's your opinion on it?
My opinion has been, I think there's multiple factors, but in specifically two. Yeah. Number one, I believe net zero is an issue.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
I think we're all conscious of greenhouse gases and doing our bit to be green. Yeah. The issue is from a British Steel, and it's such a fundamental part of the society, infrastructure, it makes it very difficult to compete on the global scale when they're enforcing so many policy changes and fines or tariffs, etc.
Yeah, but I've seen it on telly. What about China? They're pumping all these greenhouse gases up and everything, aren't they? And is that who owns these steelworks?
It is, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I really do not know what to suggest.
Yeah. And if you was to be able to have a conversation with the Prime Minister and say, like, what could you do to support the steelworkers, what would you say to him?
Take care. No, I don't know. No, I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that because I'll get in trouble. I don't like the man. I do not like the man. No. I think he's got everything's wrong. From what when he came into all this bullshit when he was saying, I'm going to do this, going to do that. Mm-hmm. Everything's totally different to what he said.
Yeah.
You only have to look on YouTube and whatever, Facebook. Everybody's got an opinion, haven't they?
Yeah.
It said the other day, it said he's the most hated Prime Minister ever.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not that clued up on politics, but...
No, and...
It should go up, of course it does.
Yeah, and you mentioned it right at the start. What do you think the repercussion is going to be to this town that is an industrial town? I mean, just behind us we see a sculpture of...
This town was built on that place,
yes.
wasn't it? I've watched a documentary, they came from all over the country to, and then built that and then built all the houses. There should be more done, because this will end up a ghost town.
Yeah.
It will.
So the gent was just saying about that the town was built upon the steelworks. You think over the decades when many thousands of people would come into the town and it was a really thriving industry, and we're now talking about thousands of people going to be made redundant, and what repercussions is that to businesses, to shops, to the knock-on effect to the contractors, the people that actually are supportive of this industry. It's a very, very upsetting, uncertain time. Hi there, sorry to interrupt. We are currently getting some reactions to the British Steel news of the closures. Do you have a couple of moments of time just to ask some questions? Yeah?
The Chinese here anyway.
So British Steel have announced the closure of multiple parts of plant, which risks thousands of people's careers and livelihoods. Yeah. What's been the reaction for yourself?
Well, it's wrong. Definitely wrong. We should still be making steel, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a grandson who works on the steel work, so we don't know how it'll affect him. But yes, it's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
I think the government...
1,000+ jobs, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what do you think has been the one of the root causes to this?
To say, isn't it, really? The Chinese probably. I think they came with the intentions of taking the expertise, and then that's it.
And what do you think, if you had the opportunity to speak to the Prime Minister, what would you say to Keir Starmer?
Well, nationalise it to keep it going. I mean, they let Port Talbot go, didn't they? Just the same, so we'll just have to wait and see, I think.
Yeah, and what would you say? What do you think is going to happen to the town if the steelworks was still going?
Oh, well, like a lot of other towns where, like the mining communities, nothing. Yeah, a bit tragic, really.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the moment. Thank you. Thank you. So, British Steel have announced the closure of the blast furnaces, rod mill, steel making. What's been the reaction for yourself?
It's shocking. It's been shocking for me because obviously my history, my heritage and Scunthorpe is because of the steelworks. My father came from, at that time, East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh, and he came here and did 30 years in the various sections. Myself, I've worked at Concast, I've worked at a medium section mill, I've done stints as an engineer on the site, so to lose 2,000 jobs, it's shocking. I mean, it's at the end of the backbone of this town, the steelworks, you know. Losing the steel is going to have a massive impact, not just on British Steel here, but all the other little companies and the logistics around it, you know, so it's not very good for the town at all.
No, it's not. And what do you think is like the root cause to this?
I think I've seen throughout the 80s, obviously, automation played a big part. You know, obviously, people think they can make the steel cheaper in other parts of the world. You know, I think all of that contributes. The economy is not in a good place, you know, so it's easy just to... And the owners will think, I'll go somewhere where it's a bit cheaper. So I think the government need to come out and help these businesses because at the end of the day, they create jobs, you know, and the government's job is to look after its people. So times like this, they need to come forth and maybe speak to the business owners and subsidise and help them and say, look, you need to keep these businesses here because it has an impact on the economy, on the people of my country. You know, so the government and the Prime Minister need to look at 2,000 people in one stint. It's a lot of people.
It's devastating.
Yeah,
it truly is devastating. Yeah. And you know, from a Scunthorpe United perspective, I know Scunthorpe United, the football club, and the British Steel, the steel workers, they're so closely bonded. You know, a heart of a town is its steelworks and its football club, and I know that the club has been very supportive to the steel workers, etc. I don't know whether you can say a couple of comments from a club perspective and what you've done.
No, the club, as a club, straight away when we heard we wanted to do something, there was a big game on the following day, but we'll do whatever we can to support and help those workers and our fans. It's our community, it's our club, and at the end of the day we will do whatever we can. But throughout history, over the last 50, 60, 70 years, there's been a correlation and a connection between the steel workers and the fans at Scunthorpe United. So at this difficult time, at least I can say we won't leave these people stranded. We'll do whatever we can to help them ensure these fans come to the games and they can afford to come to the games.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for a couple of moments of your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'd like to thank the locals of Scunthorpe for sharing their thoughts, opinions on the latest news of British Steel. It is devastating and the reactions of everybody clearly demonstrates that. I'd also like to say thank you to Scunthorpe United for a couple of moments of their time and the incredible generosity that they've shown to steel workers because, as we said, the football team as well as the steelworks, they come hand in hand. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Comment down below, let us know. Hit the subscribe button, share this video far and wide, and let's get this conversation started. It's really, really important that British Steel stays a part of the infrastructure of what makes the country what it is. My name's Kev from Uncensored Streets. Look forward to speaking to you in the next video.